first before I just start talking, start going. Peace, peace, peace. Oh, I am nervous. I'm nervous talking about this. Ah, goodness. All right, and if nobody comes into the room, I'm just going to go ahead and start talking about it. Give it a few more moments. I'm starting my lock journey again. You see, I'm a little right now. But I'm getting started. Okay, so I'm going to just go right into it because people said they wanted to hear about me leaving corporate America. So let's just start from the beginning. The divine, God, universe, whoever you pray to, has always put me in a position where I enjoyed my job. I have always been in a position where I was grateful for the job that I had obtained. Whatever that may have been, I have always been grateful for that. And I think it starts with that. So the very last job that I was at, I was there for 17 years. Now, I'm not going to mention any companies or anything like that, but I was definitely there for 17 years. And I enjoyed my time that I was there up until the end. Up until the end. So I did accounting. That's the type of work that I had did. And it was peace. But what I found was, as I started learning more about who I was, I started seeing a change within me. So I would listen to Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters, Diving Deep, him. I listened to him all the time. And he was always talking about a different perspective or a different way of living. And so when I would go into work, I would start putting on Post-its the type of life that I wanted to have, right? I would put, I'm going to go to Brazil and I'm going to be in Costa Rica. I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to be in different places. I'm going to have a freedom lifestyle. Because that's the type of life that he was talking about on his YouTube. And where I was at, going to a job Monday through Friday, working 9 to 5 basically, did not correlate with what he was talking about. But I knew what he was talking about was what I wanted. I wanted what he was talking about. So I put in my head that I was going to have that lifestyle. I had learned how to teach yoga, which I call share yoga. I learned how to share yoga, and I didn't understand at the time that all this stuff was going to impact my life the way that it does. I just thought that I was learning how to teach yoga. That's what it was. And so as I was learning more and more about myself, I was finding out that where I was positioned, the office that I was positioned in, I was no longer enjoying it. It's almost like I was coming out of the clouds. And so I would find myself getting flutters. But not the happy flutters you get when you see somebody and you really like them. I was getting an uncomfortable flutter with going into this job. And I couldn't explain it. I didn't understand why I was feeling this way because I was very comfortable in my position. I was very comfortable. Like I said, I was there for 17 years. I had to be comfortable, right? So I started to envision me no longer being at that job, but I envisioned it in a way that I was leaving peacefully. They were going to throw a party for me. Like, this is all the stuff I was seeing. It did not turn out that way, but it was still peace. So what happened was, we always say, so what happened was I started having, bumping heads with a coworker. Me and a coworker weren't aligning right. And then the company was hiring other people who didn't know the job, but wanted to tell us. You know how they love putting managers in position who don't know the job, but they have all the bright ideas of how you should do your job that you've been doing for 17 years. That's what happened. And I experienced things like I guess, the angry black girl, because I was probably the only one in that position at the time. So I experienced things like that. I had to deal with white fragility. It was a lot of stuff that I had to deal with, but I didn't know that I was dealing with any of this at the time because, like I said, I was in the clouds. I thought everything was peace and all that stuff. It wasn't until one day I was pulled into an office just to have a conversation. With the director of accounting and the manager at the time. And I felt attacked. I'm the only black woman in this office of all white people. And I felt attacked. I couldn't go back to my desk because I didn't understand what I was feeling, because this is a job that I've been at for 17 years. I was at this job for 17 years and I didn't understand how this was happening in this moment, because these people loved me. That's where I was at with the job. So I left that day. I was having a nervous breakdown. I didn't know I was experiencing any of that. My sister was like, this is what we're going to do. You're going to take a stress leave. In which case I did take a stress leave. I also had a therapist. So now we're getting into mental health. I also had a therapist. And her job, and she was a black woman, her job was to give me the tools I needed to get back into that job. The thing is, when I left that building that day, I knew I was never ever stepping foot back into that building. I knew that day. However, we went through the therapy sessions. We did all of the coping mechanisms. How can we get you back into the office? Once my therapist realized that, okay, you're not going back to this job. I can see that. I can clearly see you have made up in your mind that you're not going back into this job. But what are you going to do now? So that was the new question that I was presented with. I had already became a certified yoga teacher, and I've heard some of my white counterparts tell me when I was working there that, how are you going to make money being a yoga teacher? And I don't think that they meant any disrespect by it. But like I said, I was working in accounting in a corporate setting, so I was making a nice amount of money, right? But it allowed for limiting beliefs to set in, because it made me think like, dang, well, what am I going to do? So with that, fear crept in, false evidence appearing real. But I had already made up in my mind I wasn't going back to this job, because they made me feel like the angry black girl. And I didn't like that, because I thought that these people loved me. And I have nothing bad to say about the company. I just think they put people in position that aren't ready to be managers in a lot of these places. All right. So I'm not going to keep going on this tangent. The therapist realized that I was not going to go back to this job. She realized that. So she said, okay, so let's work on what we're going to do from this point forward. That's when, like, amazingness just came through. I got set up with so many yoga opportunities. And I'm an okay yoga teacher. Let me stop. I'm good at what I do. I'm a beautiful yoga sharer, right? But there are people out there, thank you. There are people out there that are, you know, they just outshine. And I understand that comparison is the thief of joy. But the point that I'm making here is that the divine set it up that I was having opportunities that put me in magazines, that put me on television, that put me at different colleges to share yoga, that put me at the African American Museum to share yoga. You see what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, this girl who I thought was just mediocre was put in position to share yoga in all different places, right? So I didn't have to look back on going back to a 9-to-5. I knew that I no longer wanted to be in a place that had recycled air. I knew that I didn't want to have to ask permission to go on vacation. I knew that I didn't want to have to keep explaining myself as an adult or being talked to like a child. So I guess the point of this video is I never had an opportunity to talk about this outlet. I cried about this many times. I would even have trouble driving past the company because it created hurt. It created hurt inside because this was a place that I loved. Excuse me. And it was the first time that I felt like they didn't love me back. Because I probably thought that I was going to retire here. But the divine was like, no, you're going to do more than this. So even though I share yoga, I also drive for Uber too. And I have to tell you, I have gotten many opportunities from driving from Uber. Many opportunities. I have had people come in my car and say, I'm so glad and thankful I have met you. It's because of you. You have inspired me to do this. And so I'm saying all this to say that nobody is ever stuck. Nobody's ever stuck in their position. I always tell people, find what it is that you enjoy doing and do that thing. Work at that craft. I have done many things. I have done fruit arrangements. I have made candles. I share yoga. And let me tell you, as a Gemini, yes, I'm a Gemini, I have tried to quit yoga many times. I have tried to quit. My family knows I will quit something in a heartbeat. But the divine would not let me quit yoga. Every single time I said, I'm tired of doing this, he gave me 4 more better opportunities. 4 more opportunities that were better that I couldn't even say no to. So that let me know that I'm in alignment with this. And it always brings me back to that one coworker that told me that, how are you going to make money sharing yoga? It could be that one thing that pushes you to catapult you to the highest level. You just never know. And now I'm working towards doing a 7-day virtual wellness retreat. I'm not even calling it yoga, a wellness retreat. And so that I can walk alongside of sisters who want to do even more things in their life. Nobody's ever stuck. Nobody's ever stuck. You might even feel like right now in the job that you're in that you're stuck. You're not stuck. It's just mind-blowing. Y'all gotta give me a minute because this is emotional. I thought I was going to retire from this job. And the divine has been making moves and making sure that I can continue to move along my path. I was afraid to do this live. I was afraid to do this live. But I just want us all to move past fear, because fear will disable us. We are great at so many things. And it's my intention moving forward to be able to host 4 sold out wellness retreats. That's my intent. So me doing this virtual yoga retreat is the start of something great. And it just makes me think back from when I was in corporate America, sitting at a desk, working 9 to 5, being asked, well, can I do this schedule instead of that schedule? Why do I have to do this schedule? Why aren't you at work today? You don't have to do that. We don't have to live like that. Now, I'm not telling you to just uproot yourself and leave your job right now. But what I'm saying is, start envisioning the life that you want. If you could see that thing, put it together in your mind. Wake up early in the rising. Write down those goals. Write down those things that you want to achieve and start working towards them. These are the things that we're going to talk about in a 7-day virtual retreat. And I didn't get on here to even talk about the retreat. I did get on here to talk about how I left corporate America. Now, I do want to leave you with this. I left corporate America December 2017. December 2017. This is now December 2023. I have not been back in an office. I have not been back at a job since December 2017. And I know there are people, when you leave a job, not saying that they want to see you fail, but they want to watch you. And my thing is, let them watch you. Let them watch you be great. Let them watch you be great, because that's exactly who you are. And if I can inspire anybody, and if you have any questions, just let me know. I didn't even know I was going to do this today. I was actually talking to another sister, and she asked me, how did I leave corporate America? And I told her, and then I said, you know what? I never actually had an opportunity to talk about this. And I just want to say that company is a great company. The CFO, wonderful. I love her. The CEO, wonderful. I love him. I just think that when they put people in positions, they like to do microaggressions, and it can eat at you. It can eat at you. We are bigger than these jobs that they put on us. We are far greater than these jobs that they put on us. So I just want you to know, you don't ever have to feel like you are stuck in anything. Figure out that thing that you would do for free and start working towards that craft. Peace, family. If you have any questions, just hit me up.